guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at another undisclosed location because guess what? We have it. It's changed up, it's refreshed, it's updated. This is a 2021 Volkswagen Arteon. Our particular one is an SEL R-Line spec, and we have 4Motion all-wheel drive. But before we get into this Sportback sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. Volkswagen. They've been around since the 1930s, if you could believe that. Now, everybody knows Volkswagen for the Beetle or the Bug, or maybe even the Volkswagen Bus, the GTI. But one name that is still fairly new, especially here in the United States, is Arteon. This vehicle replaces the outgoing Volkswagen CC. It's actually been around since 2017 across the pond in Europe. Did not hit our shores until 2019, and for 2021, there's some major refreshing going on, especially on the outside. What Volkswagen is trying to do is they're trying to create a vehicle in their lineup that kind of ups the ante for luxury, but also for style that just stands out from the rest of the pack. So let's go ahead, let's find out, is this a real luxury sedan? And is this a sedan that has awesome versatility because of that Sportback design? Let's go ahead and find out. Right off the bat, the styling, it hits you just like Mike Tyson punching you right in the face. Right up front of the business, we got a whole new front fascia. Love what they've done with the LED headlights, daytime running lamps, and turn signals. You'll notice on the interiors of those small headlight housings, everything is blacked out. Look at the way they did the daytime running lamps around the headlights and also into the actual grille. Starts up in the corner, drops all the way down. I love that specific kind of styling. Another thing that I really love, and I actually got a little excited and yelled a little bit when I first saw this new Arteon, is in the lower corners we have functional corner vents. So those are air curtains to channel the air, nice large opening, some gloss black, some shiny chrome, and I love the way they brought the actual color of our particular Arteon or your Arteon into that lower corner area to kind of really just bring a lot of depth to the styling. We come across the grille. This is where you see the connection to the outgoing CC. That very low hung hood slopes down into the grille area. We have horizontal chrome bars. We have some LED daytime running lamps that run all the way towards that updated Volkswagen logo. The people's car, it's been around for so long, such an iconic logo. Drop down, we have functionality. And I know it may look a little heavy on the gloss black, but I think it pops perfectly with the white. Of course, ours being an R-Line spec, we do have the R badge. I even like the way they updated that with all that daytime running lamp there, but very low, very wide, very sporty. Now, when we get up onto that low hood, you're gonna get that crisp German styling. Two simple rises on each side. Everything goes towards the windshield and the A-pillars. We come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire on our Arteon. So you're gonna get these updated wheels, machine aluminum, 19-inch wheel, liking the style, 245 on the width, and you have a 40 series sidewall, machined with the gloss black, falls in line perfect with the other style of wheels on the other Volkswagen vehicles in the lineup. And I'm digging the style with our particular color here. Now, you have a very hard, crisp fender line. I do like the way the hood meets with the fender. And then another thing that I think they knocked out of the park is this side badging here. Just a little bit of chrome. It's not meant to look like a vent, but I think without this, it would look a little bland. It's nice to see some extra color here with the R badge. You're gonna have color matched mirror caps, turn signals, bright shiny metalwork top and bottom. Here comes a zonk. Black out the whole roof. They blacked out up front. They blacked out on the sides, but they didn't take it all the way back. They gave you a black shark fin antenna. So that is a zonk. What I do really love on the style though, is you have those frameless side windows. So that gives you just a nice extra style from the side, that nice crisp body line. Even the side sill, look at the way the side sill extends down, and then you have this hard body line that goes into the rear of the vehicle. Great size on that quarter window. And as we go into the rear pillar here, of course, this is all gonna raise up. That Sportback, hatchback versatility is what makes this a home run. Gloss black spoiler, that's part of that R-Line package. I think it looks absolutely stunning. Even the way they did their LED taillights, You got the Volkswagen badge, and look, that's also our handle to open up that Sportback design. Hi, welcome to Rady's Rides. Arteon, crisp, and then as we drop down, you are gonna get decorative exhaust trim rings with functional exhaust there. They're not fake. And I think the chrome kind of just balances it out and brings up that luxury side of things with the 4Motion badge. 4 means all-wheel drive power, getting to all 4 wheels. But why don't we pop the hood and see what's powering our Arteon. All right, guys, we got that hood open. You do have hydraulic hood struts underneath the hood. I know we're looking what kind of power is going with this Arteon. You're looking at a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 268 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, no CVTs. It's sitting on that MQB architecture, and you're looking at the vehicle weighing 3,854 pounds with the 4Motion all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 6.4 seconds. Top speed is governed to 128 miles per hour. MPGs, 20 in the city, 31 on the highway. And you know what? Your front brake rotors are actually 13.4 inches in diameter. So you're gonna get some really good braking capability. Would have been nice to see at least 300 horsepower, especially with the all-wheel drive. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that interior and see what big things are in store on the luxury side of things on the Arteon. All right, guys, we're inside the 2021 Volkswagen Arteon. I know you're at that point, you're like, Joe, wow, I'm liking the style. I'm digging what they got going on here. How much is it? The way that this one is optioned, you're looking right around $42,700. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels, absolutely stunning. You have soft touch material up top, the stitch work. I'm loving that silver aluminum carbon fiber finish going on. Even the way they brought the silver from underneath that tweeter speaker cover right into the door handle. Middle of the door panel has some nice white contrast stitching. The armrest, though, is as hard as an old Bavarian pretzel that's really stale. So not my favorite. And the door pocket, it's got felt lining in there, so you're not gonna scratch your burrito, but you could only put just one burrito in there from Chipotle. As you go from the door panel to the dash, same story. The soft touch material, the stitching, I'm loving this silver trim. Absolutely stunning, with a little bit of gloss black and the rest silver. Look at how they did the AC vents. Just integrated everything so clean. And then you're gonna get to your infotainment system side of things. 8-inch infotainment. Would have been nicer to have something just a little bit larger, but you do obviously have the full touchscreen setup. You could get into your vehicle settings. You have navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. We could go back into our car features. You could do all your different settings with how you want everything to be viewed very, very easily. So I really dig the way they give you lots of choices. Let me show you the backup camera. There we are looking out back. Great job on the clarity of the camera. Super clear with the trajectory. Throw it back into park. I hit menu and we're right back to where we started. So nice and simple to just easily understand. Now you drop down, you have heated seats, but no ventilated seats. That is a zonk at this price point, $42,000, but you do have heated seats. I do like the way you adjust all the controls, all just like a touch type of system, and the colors, everything looks very high level, high class. You drop down, you get a little tiny door. We open this up, not enough room for a Twinkie. You're gonna squeeze a Twinkie, but you could put some Jolly Ranchers in here. I have my garage door opener, not as much fun as Jolly Ranchers, but I would go Jolly Ranchers or now and laters, because the best news is you could have them now or later. Close that up, look at how seamless it is. You do have a few fake buttons, and you do have a mode selector button. So you do have sport, normal, comfort, and eco, and I like the way it displays it on the screen. Clear graphics. We're gonna leave this puppy in sport mode. This is gonna control the 8-speed automatic transmission. I love the silver, the nice shift boot with the contrast stitching. Slide this thing, you got your 2 cup holders. You got a little tiny area for some breath mints, a 12 volt. Some people would say this is where you put your key fob. That's where you're gonna have your breath mints, especially if you're going on a date. But let's do the test. I have, of course, the Volkswagen Key Fob for the Arteon. Flip it around. You got remote start, all the accessories you need, that panic horn button in case somebody is running after you. And look, you can just put it right there. So that's the home for that. I would put breath mints in there because who wants to have bad breath? Put this in your pocket. Center armrest is semi-hard. That's, yeah, it's nice. Nothing to write home about though. The great news is that you could easily put, I would say, 8 paydays in there if you stand them up, 2 USB-Cs and some felt lining, and we have these beautiful leather seats with the stitch work, nice material, some decent bolstering, and I like the way they brought a little bit of different color with the piping, full electric assist for the passenger and the driver. And then to top things off, we do have a standard size sunroof. Would have been really nice to have a panoramic sunroof at $42,000, but you do have a standard size sunroof. Close that up, come on over to the business end. I want to show you behind this flat bottom steering wheel in our Arteon. All right guys, business time behind the wheel of this Arteon. I do like the aluminum sill plate that you have when you come in, and then because this is an R-Line, check out the foot box. You got a nice large dead pedal, all aluminum, brake pedal and throttle. Seat controls are easy to get to. You got that lower lumbar, 3 memory seat settings, so you could actually go look for another friend. If you already have 2 friends, look for another friend, and you can let 3 people borrow your Arteon, or let your oldest friend drive it and then find a new friend, and then one for you. Steering wheel, I love what Volkswagen does to the wheels. Flat bottom, you got your R-Line badge, tasteful horn button with that updated Volkswagen logo. There is some gloss black, but it really reminds me of an Audi product with the switch gear on the steering wheel. You do have 2 small paddles to go up and down that 8-speed automatic. And then look what we got. 10.3 inches of visual pleasure. I got navigation in the center, but you could scroll through a ton of different information, all in a nice digital cockpit layout. Look at how I just scroll easily through the different functions all the way back to our navigation. So I think that itself is worth its weight in gold. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that back seat and see if your passengers have enough room in this sexy shape of the Arteon. All right guys, backseat time, and the amazing thing is Volkswagen has done one heck of a job with having a sexy shape and that Sportback design, but also having plenty of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall. I had plenty of headroom up front, even more back here, which is great. You can see all the space. It's like I'm swimming in space. So it's really wonderful, not outer space, but space in this Arteon. Backs of the seats have the leather, small tight pocket, maybe put, I don't know, some paper back there so you could write some notes about your memoirs once you have some things that you want to write down. You do have your 2 AC vents and 1 12 volt. So I guess if there is something to zonk, it's the 12 volt. It would be nice to have USBs. I mean, this Arteon looks so futuristic, and to have a 12 volt kind of, I don't know, kind of lessens that a little bit. I have my own pocket here. The good news is I'm glad I have my own, because I'm gonna need plenty of paper to write down all the crazy things that I've done over my life so far. But all this headroom, armrest feels good. They give you plenty of real estate for your arm and 2 cup holders. Seats, nice material. Let's go ahead and get to that cargo area so we could go for a drive in our Arteon. All right guys, time to get into that Sportback cargo area. How do we do it? Just like I showed you right there. Lift it up and then bam, look at all that space. Enough room to even get some Twinkies in there. So we definitely got to give a huge shout out to David Langle. He left his box of Twinkies in the back of this Arteon. He is a Radies Rides Patreon club member. Thank you, David, for leaving those so we could showcase them. But the other side of things we're showcasing is the pure size of that cargo area. And if you want a number, let me give you some numbers. You're looking at 27 cubic feet of space. Obviously, the seats can fold down, but that's what I love about this vehicle. Mimicking that Audi A5, the sister brand, that premium luxury brand of Volkswagen, having that Sportback flexibility, I think that's what makes it extra special. You got the room for Twinkies, and I promise you, you do have a spare in the back. Don't ask me how I know that, but we do have a full spare and everything. Ready to rock and roll? Speaking of rocking and rolling, let's get rolling down the road and go on throttle in our Arteon. All right, guys, we're in the 2021 Volkswagen Arteon SEL R-Line spec. Right away, I'm loving the changes to the outside, and I'm also so thankful that they brought some changes to the interior as well. This 10.3-inch digital display for your gauges is really, really nice to have that flexibility of having the navigation smack dab right in front of you as you're going about your business. Steering wheel feel, the perfect thickness, the level of materials, the fit and finish that they brought into this Arteon, you're definitely feeling the difference. Even from 2019, which was just 3 years ago, I'm noticing the changes in this setup. Now, visibility out the back, you would think with that low roof line sloping into that rear glass, it would be really tight. Even with the headrest, it's not. Side mirrors look great, and they're also a great size. I like the way that they have the blind spot monitoring LED lights built into the housing and not the glass of the mirror itself. Getting to the infotainment system is very, very easy reach, all touchscreen. You'll notice, or at least maybe you'll notice, that there's a box over the navigation that popped up. It gives you little tips. Like one of the tips was an eco tip that I should turn on the auto start stop feature. Well, I'm gonna leave that off for right now. In the gauge instrumentation, at first it's a little cumbersome to navigate through with like what is what, but the S means we're in sport mode. I have a digital speedometer right on the right, and then you have these LED bar graphs for coolant and your fuel gauge there. The silver trim is nice. At night, there's ambient lighting right within that silver trim, which is great. You do have a tilting and telescoping steering wheel as well. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave this in automatic mode. We're driving down the road here. I'm gonna slow down to do a little bit of an on-throttle acceleration in automatic mode. Coming to a stop. On throttle, here we go. So the great news is with that 4Motion all-wheel drive, the power got to the ground. Let's see how we handle here. On the brakes. Nice, look at that. Kept us planted. Very, very nice feeling overall from front to back with this whole setup in this Arteon. It would be nice if it had a V6 option, or at least more power. We know they could get more power out of that 2-liter. I would like to see this car with 400 horsepower and all-wheel drive. Now we're talking. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the shifter, push it over to the right, and I'm going to use the small paddles on the back of the steering wheel to shift up and down the 8-speed automatic transmission. You do have a gear indicator in the lower left there. Second gear. A little bit of a busy day today with people on the road going about their business, but we're gonna keep doing our business here, on throttle business, that's for sure. In third gear, let's see if I could get second gear here. Second gear, on throttle, here we go. On the brakes. Very, very smooth. Now you are waiting a little bit for that turbo to spool up. Once it spools up though, you are off and running, but I think even at, let's just, for argument's sake, let's call it at 325 horsepower. 325 horsepower, this thing would be not only a ton of fun to drive, but then you got that sexy shape, the new styling, the digital cockpit of a display here, and everything else, which is wonderful. What I am noticing though, and the reason why I stopped talking, is that the cabin is very quiet. And I really, really like that. How definitely upscale this Arteon feels. It feels more like an Audi, and that's one hell of a compliment than a Volkswagen product. And I think that that is what Volkswagen is trying to do, is they're trying to, with this model, bring a little bit of that Audi luxury goodness into this Arteon, and I think that just brings it to a different level. Nice weight to the steering. You got the different driving modes, which is great as well, depending on what mode you want to be in to drive, depending on the situation. And then you have the good-sized sunroof. Would be nice panoramic, but at least you have the sunroof, which is great. And you have the infotainment integrated. I know many of you, especially when it comes to Audi products, do not like the iPad style of the infotainment system in that car compared to what we're getting in this Arteon. But very smooth. I do like the weight to the steering, nothing too heavy, nothing too light. Obviously, it's front-wheel drive biased, and then once there is slip detected, it will send power to the rear wheels. All right, guys, just driving along, I want you to be able to hear how quiet it is in here. It actually feels really, really good. Ride quality is great. The seats are supportive and comfortable all at the same time, and they look fantastic. And staring at the steering wheel all day really is a pleasure because it's a great looking steering wheel and it feels good as you're driving. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what the Arteon is all about for 2021. We're gonna get back to our undisclosed location and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day with this Arteon. I definitely want to thank everybody at Volkswagen for allowing Radies Rides access to this vehicle. It just goes to show, if you don't want an SUV and you want something that's luxury based, that has versatility, there's cars like this Arteon out there to kind of fit the bill and check off all the boxes. I'm liking the style changes. I'm definitely loving that versatility of that Sportback. This could be that standout luxury sedan that should be in your garage. Definitely add it to your list if you're looking for something like that in your test drives that you're doing. But if you want to keep seeing these updated models on Radies Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radies Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera, working that thing like a champ. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.